Welcome back to the Out of the Rough podcast. My name is Nate, and joining me as always is my co-host Jake. I shouldn't say as always. He took a week off yesterday or last week to spend some time in sunny Florida. But Jake, how we doing?
We're doing good. Back from sunny Florida. Got my butt handed to me at the Blue Monster, which was an awesome course. I
I
cannot wait
imagine.
for the pros to play. Got some good insight from the caddies, so definitely be sure to tune in that week. I'm happy to share that information. Um, but yeah, API, super exciting tournament. Daniel Berger was almost wire to wire. A little fist bump on 18. If I were him, I was just so disappointed in the caddy. I was so disappointed in him. You put in the rough on 18, right? Like that's not it happens. I think you still have to go for the green in two. You cannot lay up on 18. You are opening the door for Akshay, and that is a kid that I mean Berger and his caddy probably know this now is you cannot leave the door open, not even a crack, because he will slam it open and shut it right in your goddamn face, just like he did. Berger again, he made the putt, gave a little fist bump to the crowd, got to the playoff, played 18 again, dumped the ball in the rough again. Akshay beautiful off the tee. The rest is history. Just I don't like how he played it. He played to kind of lose, and Akshay played aggressive to win, which he'd done all week. So again, I'm a big Akshay supporter, big Akshay fan. Super young, super talented. I saw some lingering arguments, Nate. I want to hear what you have to say about this, but people are saying Akshay is better than Ludwig. He's younger and has more PGA Tour victories.
Yeah, I've openly been a Ludwig doubter since he came into the league or the tour, I guess you would say. And I've been open. I mean, I've deemed Nikolai Højgaard better than Ludwig Oberg since the beginning of time or with that. I don't know. Ludwig still has the game, right? He is overrated in my opinion, right? That PGA University thing, and I've been very vocal about how he and the Boardson have received this, you know, golden carpet welcome opposed to someone like David Ford, who has not, who has won the same title as those two. But either way, I mean, the debate's there, right? Ludwig has that one victory or two, I guess. You have the fall, and then he went on to win the Genesis, which was, I guess you can kind of put an asterisk next to that one. So it was played at the
Yeah,
at Torrey Pines. But either way, I mean, flagship victory for Akshay right there, right? His second PJ Tour victory off the top of my head.
third.
Third already. Jeez. Okay, so this guy, he's what, 23, 24?
He is 24 years old. He won at the Barracuda in
That's right, the
2023,
Barracuda.
the Valero in
Yep.
2024, then the API last week.
Yep. So the flagship event, just one of those things that, there's levels to it. You win the Barracuda, an alt field event to the Open, then you go on to win the Valero, which is a regular field event, then you get your signature event, and maybe next up for Akshay is a major in the coming times. And now I know there's debate online circulating right now over the putter, and is he actually anchoring that
Yeah.
broomstick putter or not? That's up to you, whatever you want to do with it. I don't know if it's that big of a difference. Maybe back in the day when they first came on, when, Adam Scott went on to win the Masters doing it and things like that, sure, but I don't know. Actually, I mean, he's turned it around. He's becoming a competent putter now. And again, is it because the anchoring point? Who knows? Maybe we'll never know until the PGA Tour steps in and tells us otherwise. We're just speculators watching through a camera on a television from a very, very far distance. So either way, congratulations to Akshay. DP World Tour, another instance of throwing the tournament away. Henry Duplessis had a pretty healthy lead in the back nine, threw that away. Dan Bradbury backdoor victory there. And I don't know what's going on with this, Jake. It seems like every tournament, on the PGA Tour, at least the last 5 or 3 weeks, we've had multiple shot leads, big leads, and they've all been squandered.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's the DP World Tour in a sense. I
Yeah,
mean, Scotty has not taken these tournaments by the throat like we've seen him, which leaves the door open for everyone else. And we've seen some inexperienced guys with leads come in
Akshay's one of
and
them. Actually, at
yeah,
Pebble Beach.
yep. And they just kind of squander it away. It's one of those that it is so hard to play with a lead, especially on the PGA Tour, because your gut just tells you, let me play conservative, hit the middle of the green, get lucky with a couple birdie putts. I probably just need to get in. In Berger's case, he probably didn't think he needed to make that many putts. He probably was like, I need to come in at one or two under. There's a couple par fives, just survive and get through. And Akshay said, door open, let me
Yep.
just play aggressive, play my game, and when it's clicking, these guys can pour it in. So it's super entertaining. The PGA Tour has had some great events so far, and I'm looking forward to this week in particular.
Yeah, I think when Daniel Berger was in 12 or 13, the commentaries were even all he has to do is get through here in par, and he probably has his tournament. And sure enough, he didn't. he
Yep.
didn't have the tournament. But it sucks for Daniel Berger too. He's been a journeyman. He's been around for a long time. A lot of injuries, and there's a lot of pros who talk about how good Daniel Berger is. I believe it was Scotty a few years ago who said that the person who's taken the most money of him off practice rounds, those guys gamble on every hole, has been Daniel Berger. So the talent is there. It's just frustrating for him, right? But he'll have his time soon. I think if he can stay healthy, he is as talented as they come as well.
Yep.
All right, let's just move forward here, Jake. Before we do hop into things, we do have the Players Championship doubted or deemed the fifth major. I know there's a little, it's not as alluring as it used to be, right? This used to be the first time of the entire season where we'd see all the big names in one tournament before the introduction of the elevated events. What was it, 3 or 4 years now? Then the signature events, which kind of forces them to play, a few handful of times before we get to the players. So the players used to be like, spring is here. The best golfers are finally here. Major season's around the corner. Here we are. Now there's a little bit of that luster taken away from us because of center events, but either way, it's still the fifth majors. It's still TPC Sawgrass, and if you look at the recent winners of this event, you know that the big dogs show up to play this event. So we'll see what happens this week. And before we hop in our conversation there, Jake, when people find you on social media.
Yep, you can find me on X at JakeOOTR, where I post all my outright betting cards. Make sure you give me a follow there. You could also join the Out of the Rough Discord, which is completely free with no hidden paywalls. 270 plus members, ranging from diehard golf fans to professional gamblers, all sharing valuable insight that makes it just a great place to be each and every week. Nate runs the community wager tracker in the Discord, where he compiles everyone's picks into a clean list. It's great for seeing who the community is backing, celebrating the wins, jinxing people who are in the lead that no one has. It's used for all purposes. But quick shout out, we had a bunch of winners this week. We had Wilksy 93, Carl Bet Sports, and Dan Gunn for hitting Akshay Bhatia at the API. And then we had Wilksy, Titanic, DJ the Goat, and Sauce hitting Dan Bradbury at the Joburg Open. So congrats to you guys, especially Wilksy, hitting both winners.
It's always
That's
fun.
awesome. Also, Nate and I share some exclusive content in the Discord. I share my tournament and round matchups that have single-handedly kept me afloat this season. Nate shares his first round leader bets. If you'd like the link, just reach out to either of us and we'll get you the link to join that. Don't forget to check out ootrough.com for our weekly articles. Andrew covers the Hotel Planet Tour and Corn Ferry Tour. Nate covers all the tours, PGA, DP, Live, LPGA, and I cover the PGA Tour, including some DFS content as well. You can find Nate's Strokes Gained Putting by Grass Type on there, which is another completely free resource to have at your disposal. Also, form charts Nate has put together. So, recent form that these guys are in at certain venues and events, you could also find that on the website there. So, be sure to check it out.
Yeah, you can find myself, Nate, on Twitter at NateOOTR. Find Out of the Rough on all forms of social media at various handles across all social medias. Just search us, you'll find us there. Referencing back to ootrough.com, you can also find the Out of the Rough One and Done, which is a weekly challenge for the PGA Tour and DP World Tour, where you pick a different golfer each week. Prize money is scoring. There's some prizes on the line. And if you're listening to this and you're not playing, this is the perfect week to start because the majors are a different category and the players count as one of those majors to kind of separate some stuff up there. So be sure to check that out. Found on the website as well. And yeah, beyond that, everything Jake said. Hopefully we covered all. Jake, I tried to fill in for you last week. I wasn't too punctual with everything, so hopefully everything got across the board there. But yeah, let's move on. TPC Sawgrass, home of the players, and essentially is a venue that was made to host this tournament. There's no other reason or explanation of why this wonderful piece of golf architecture was established. It is of a par 72, 7,200 yards, requires a well-rounded game. A Pete Dye design, arguably, and I don't think it's even arguably, his most notable design here at TPC Sawgrass. State-of-the-art tournament golf course to host the players was the establishment here, and it is a stadium golf course. Constructed in the 1970s, it is a modern marvel and the quintessential tournament stadium course that features some of the most pristine manicuring in all of golf. The course is one of, if not the biggest risk-reward type tracks on tour, as the constant hazard threats make for a very volatile leaderboard. There is water in play on 17 of the 18 holes at TPC Sawgrass. Quirky greenside bunkers that don't allow for smooth up and downs, too, are included in that list of hazards. TPC Sawgrass mitigates the advantage of long hitters off the tee with the hazards and a plethora of dog legs going both left and right. It, however, does reward those with elite approach in short games. The par fives are arguably the most important holes in this course in terms of scoring. You must score low on the par fives if you were to have a chance this week. Along with the par five, the short par 12, or geez, par 4 12 is a hole that must be taken advantage of. It is most notably known for its par 3 island green. If you don't even watch golf and someone were to show you a photo of a a green, and if it is TPC Sawgrass par 3 there, you would know exactly what we're talking about. It is one of the most recognizable golf holes in all of the world. Weather will almost all certainly be a factor as well. We've seen the weather make this event kind of unplayable at times. It just turns into a scrambling fest. Who can hold the mistakes the longest goes on to win. We have a medium score of minus 15.33 since this tournament was moved to March in 2019. And just one time in the history of this event has the score reached minus 20. And of course, that was Scotty Scheffler 2 years ago. The field, we know what we're getting. This is the probably one of the better, if not the best fields in all of golf. You know, your majors, you have the Augustas with the former champions, the PGA championships, where you're getting the tour professionals, the U.S. Opens or the Opens where you have to play yourself in, maybe, but this is it. This is probably the hardest field in all of golf, and this is an event that we see the cream rise to the crop, or the top, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's the correct saying, but across the last, few years here, we've seen Rory twice, Scotty twice, Cam Smith once, Justin Thomas once. It's a big deal, right? This
Yeah.
is one that these guys want and these guys are coming after. It's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, Jake, I think beyond that, again, it has the largest purse in the sport at 25 mil as well, 4.5 million to the winner, and the top five will all clear $1 million as well. Jake, anything to add on the course, tournament, anything like that?
Yeah, this is just one that guys don't just show up to get their cardio in. They come here playing their best golf and to win. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. This is one that they all want to add to their trophy case if they haven't already added it. So again, it's going to be some awesome battling golf. I can't wait to watch it this week.
And it seems like it's wide open. We have Scotty Scheffler, who's playing some of the, I shouldn't say the worst golf of his career, but some of the worst golf in Scotty Scheffler's standard that we've seen in years past. And Roy McIlroy withdrew from last week's Arnold Palmer with a quoted back injury.
Yep.
So the door may be wide open to see some fireworks this week. So we can only hope.
He lost with the irons last week. Like, I don't know when the last time we saw Scotty lose with his irons.
Yeah, it's probably been since he's been on the Corn Ferry Tour, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, I know you got six guys. I got five this week. There's one crossover along the way, but yeah, I'll let you kick things off here if you want to start with that crossover, whatever you want to do.
Yep, that crossover leads my card. So I started in the mid-range because I think the door is open, like you had mentioned. I got Minwoo Lee at 41. I believe you got him at 50.
Yep.
He didn't rank particularly high in my model, but he's just been hitting the ball so beautifully over the last couple weeks. I think the odds are more than fair and leave a ton of meat on the bone for other players to add to your card. He teed it up 5 times in 2026. He finished 38th at the American Express, 28th at the WM Phoenix Open, second at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, 12th at the Genesis, and then T6 last week. So 5 for 5 on made cuts, 3 consecutive top 15 finishes. He's also played the Players Championship 3 times. He has a T6, a T54, and a T20, so some solid course history at TBC Sawgrass. What do we know about Mr. Or sorry, not Mr. Dr. Chipinski is that his short game is elite. He's going to chip in, he is going to putt really well, and he nukes the ball off the tee. The irons have also been clicking for him on all cylinders. He's been gaining over a stroke per round with those when they've been cooperating with him. It's just about keeping the ball in the fairway for Minwoo, and he's been doing that beautifully. Everything is showing signs that this is his time to win the Players' Championship. A win is coming very, very soon. I'm not letting this one slip by me. I was happy to see him on your card because it doesn't look like you're going to do the same either. Hopefully, he gets it done for both of us. But just quickly on the 2026 season, 7th in strokes gained total, 14th off the tee, 78th on approach, 15th around the green, 39th putting. He is ready to win. It's going to be his biggest win of his career to date. And I'm feeling good about him this week, Nate.
Yeah, if you were to want to follow the golf tip tracker, what am I missing? Chart tracker,
Yeah.
TC.
Golf tips
Anyways,
checker.
yes, there we go. He is going to be probably the most tipped by far, I have to assume. But 50 was a number I wasn't leaving out there. You mentioned everything about Minwoo Lee. And if you remember back to 2023, this was like our introduction to Minwoo Lee. This was the event that there was a mysterious, Australian with or a mysterious Asian with a deep Australian accent, dressed in all black, competing on Sunday to win the Players in a debut. He is the real deal. You mentioned everything about it. The hardship of his game has been off the tee, the misses, the big misses, the penalties, and all of that. Mitigated that, still kills the ball, has absolute insane power, but everything else around it, around the green, the putting's been phenomenal, especially here on Bermuda grass. He is ready to win this event, 50 to 1. Not a chance in the world is leaving that out there.
Yep.
All right, my first player on my card, I'm going to go back here to Colin Morikawa. I have him boosted 27.5, but I found him at 25 before that. And again, my first click this week was Colin Morikawa. Comes in this week, fifth on tour in par fives, 11th in ball striking, 12th in birdie or better, 29th in sand saves, 53rd in bogey points, 88th around the green. We know the concern. It's the putting, right? He had a chance to win the Arnold Palmer Invitational. We saw on hole 2 or 3, the putts were missing. And when he misses putts, right, they're not huge misses, but when he misses, he consistently misses. It's not he's going to find it out mid round. He has to hit the first 1 or 2 putts, and if he does do that on any given week, he can go on and putt rather well. It just so happened on Sunday when he was in contention to compete at the API, he was missing them, and he missed all day long. He is, let's see, he placed fifth last week at the API. Prior to that, seventh at the Genesis, won the Pebble Beach. Placed 10th here a season ago, 45th and 24, 13th and 23, missed the cut in 22, and 41st and 21. So some good course history here. This is a guy that I am all on board on winning this golf tournament. When I say the cream rises to the top here, he has a chance to be one of those creams. If you were to check out some of the stats that people have posted on Twitter about recent history here, in terms of trends, Colin Morikawa checks every single box of those in terms of being former major winners, having a top, what was it, like 33 in the start before, having a top 5 in the season, having a top 25 at the API before, like, or excuse me, at the players before. He checks all those boxes that I've seen floating around Twitter. If you were to take into consideration, but beyond that, he is playing some of the best golf we have seen him in a long time. When it comes to pure ball striking and hitting his irons, there is probably no one in the world right now better than Colin Morikawa, in my opinion. That's the strength of his game. He hits the ball straight. It may not be that far, but he's going to play the fairways. He's going to come with the irons. It's just going to come down to that putter. If he gets some of those putts rolling early, he can win this event and win it handily.
Yeah, Nate, I don't fault you for it. I went with some deeper players. I opted obviously for a six player on my card, but Colin was the guy at the top who I was heavily considering. Like you said, the irons, he brings those week in and week out. Those are the end all be all at this course. So he brings that consistently. Some of the chips and around the green work really scares the crap out of me, especially down the road or if he's in contention come Sunday. But I can't fault you if he's in that position. You have a sweat, and that's pretty much all you could ask for in the outright betting market.
Yeah, especially with how we are rolling this early part of the season, Jake. I know we joked about it before the podcast, but it is kind of worrisome in my opinion.
Yep.
Either way, yes, Colin Morikawa, and he got the monkey off his back. He got that victory that has been eluding him for a few years now, and it's just time to put the pedal to the metal and start winning some of these bigger tournaments that we know Colin Morikawa can and has done. I mean, the guy's a 2-time major winner of the PJ and the Open. I mean, the PJ was gifted to him because of Mito Pereira, but beyond that, I mean, 2-time major winner, or handfuls of victors in the PJ Tour. It's coming, and he's going to get back in the winner's circle in some of these big events soon.
Yeah, Nate, I agree. Moving into my next play here is Ludwig Oberg. Took a future on him at 45 to 1. I think he's steamed all the way down to 30. Again, not a guy who ranked particularly high in my model because of how he started the season, but he's quickly turned himself into form, improving week over week. He had a runner-up last week at the API. Again, it's going to come down to the putter with him, similar to Morikawa, like just some
Oh
god-awful putts
God.
from him. It's like, and he's not even losing to the field. Like when you look at the end of the tournament, similar to Morikawa, you look and you're like, oh, like he's gaining around the greens or he's gaining with the putter somehow. And it's like some of these shots are just so
It's
bad
the
to watch.
isolated incidents.
It's painful. But anyway, he started this season off pretty weak. He withdrew at the American Express and missed the cut at the Farmers, but quickly rebounded with a T37 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, a 20th at the Genesis, and then a T3 last week at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He missed the cut at the Players last year, but recorded an eighth place finish the year before that in 2024. He's posted 3 consecutive events gaining on the field in each category, which is off the tee, approach, around the green, and putting, which you can't really ask for more. When he's gaining across the board, you just need something to click and to pop for him to win. Um, Over the course of his career, we know he's a phenomenal driver of the golf ball, above average irons. Like I said, the short game is where it's going to come down to for Oberg, sorry. Um, on the tour this season, 37th in strokes gained total, 52nd off the tee, 41st on approach, 70th around the green, and 91st putting. Again, I'm not going to endorse the bet at 30 to 1 where he's sitting right now. If that 40 plus is lingering for you still, or you find that, I would endorse it at that number. But again, just trending in the right direction, has a good finish here. And again, if he wants to keep pace with Akshay, maybe this Twitter mojo will motivate him a little extra this week.
Now, Jake, I remember last year we were on him at one event together. He had another typical Ludwig Oberg blow up or a three putt somewhere down the stretch where he is the king of three putting. He loves the three putt.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that, he's now a guy that's I'm gonna let him beat me opposed to betting him. So I just remember that, Jake. But he's
You know
still
what?
he's
I appreciate you holding me accountable, Nate.
he's still on my crap list. He is definitely there. It's so tough. He's such a frustrating golfer. I've had him at the Masters before, where there's glimpses of he's going to go on and win this, and then a random three putt from like it's not even like he's three putting from like 47 feet. He's three putting from like 10 foot sometimes, just
Yeah.
because I don't understand. We saw it last week. That's just Oberg for you. Again, we're waiting for that. I know he won the Genesis again. It was at the Farmers or excuse me, at Torrey Pines where we saw the Farmers a few weeks before. So whatever you want to say about that, kind of his flagship victory. Beyond that, we're waiting for him to break through because we know this. I mean, this guy is a two-time Ryder Cup winner. He was on the Ryder Cup team like basically before he even like made a professional start. Essentially, like
Yeah.
he is the real deal. We're just waiting for it all to come together and these mistakes that he makes to go away. These three putts that we see him do often. So yeah, I remember one time I was scrolling Twitter or it was TikTok, and there was like a compilation of Ludwig Oberg three putts, and it's not like it's just a handful of them. There's a lot of them,
Yeah.
but we're hopeful. We're hopeful. Again, I'm not endorsing 30, and yeah, 40. I mean, at that point in this field, you can take a chance with anyone at 40, and you have a fair argument.
Yep.
All right, so my next play here, I'm going back to a guy that I've been on a lot recently, dating back to last fall, and that's Matt Fitzpatrick at 50 to 1. Again, just a number I couldn't leave out there. I know 41st at the API, 24th at Genesis, 14th at Pebble, 9th at WM Phoenix Open. It's not like something that jumps off the page at you, but we take a further back look. He has the DP World Tour Championship. He was some of the best form and one of the best golfers in the world at the end of last season through the fall. I mean, this is a guy that we're looking at stats here, if I can find them. He's fifth on tour in ball striking, 11th in accuracy, 19th in birdie or better, 20th on approach, 24th in par fives, 25th in strokes gained putting on Bermuda, 32nd off the tee. I mean, there isn't many things this guy does poorly. Maybe playing out of the sand, but beyond that, that's so minimal compared to everything else he brings to the table with such great elite ball striking, a very competent putter, especially on Bermuda grass. The short games come around for Matt Fitzpatrick, what used to be his downfall in years past. But oh man, let's see, he missed a cut here a season ago, but placed fifth in 24. Missed a cut in 23 and 22, but placed ninth in 21. So he has this random mixed bag of like super spike performances here at TPC Sawgrass, along with some missed cuts. I know there was a lull there in his career between those 23 and 24 missed cuts or 22 and 23, excuse me. But either way, this is a premier talent, the DP role, or excuse me, on the PGA Tour. When everything's clicking for Matt Fitzpatrick, he is as good as they come. And I think this is a golf course that I wouldn't say it's like links feel, but there's a sense of it with water in play in 17 of 18 holes. You got to find the fairways. You got to keep yourself out of the hazards. I think he does that with the best of them. And again, you combine this elite ball striking and approach with a top 25 strokes game putting Bermuda grass putter in his bag. I think there's a real chance he comes through and wins his golf tournament.
Yeah, Nate, this is the first week it feels like I've taken my finger off the button with Fitzpatrick, so it would not surprise me at all. I wrote him up in my DFS article, so if you're interested in that, you could definitely read that too. But like you said, I think he's a very high ceiling, very low floor
Yeah.
player this week, which honestly leads better in the outright market. I'd rather my guy finish first or dead last. I'd rather him not finish second or third for the pain factor. But like you said, he lost with the irons last week. It had been a long time since he had lost with them, and he actually gained rather significantly with the putter, which he looked to be struggling with a little bit recently. So it is promising. If he could keep, turn those irons around and keep that putter flowing, this is a grinded out golf course, and that's the kind of player that
Mhm.
Fitzpatrick is. So I could totally see him coming through this week.
I mean, he's won a U.S. Open already. He's had a great career at this point. He's won some great golf tournaments. Just a matter of now getting another one.
Yep, exactly. Moving into my next play here, it's Kurt Kitsuyama at 65 to 1. He ranks fourth in my model this week. He is not a guy that I bet often, but I've bet him twice already this year because my model tends to love him. Um, you know what? He just fluctuates throughout the year. He has his spike finishes, he has his miscuts. It's kind of just a mixed bag, and I'm okay with that because, like I said, when the spikes are good, he's winning, and when the spikes are bad, it's fine. I don't need him to come in second or third. I'd rather him just win. He posted a T40 at the Sony Open. He missed the cut at the American Express. Then he had a good finish with a T24 at the WM Phoenix Open. He finished runner-up at the Genesis Invitational, and then a T18 last week at the API. His tournament history at TPC Sawgrass mirrors that inconsistency. In three appearances, he has a miscut, a T19, and a T33. Complete mixed bag. You don't know what Kitsuyama you're going to get, but my model is pointing to him being a really good option this week because he's phenomenal off the tee. He brings elite irons. It comes down to that short game for him if he's going to make those putts. That's what I'm looking for is just a guy who gets hot with the putter and he's about tour average. I'm not looking, for example, Nate, we talked before, Siwoo Kim, he is just not good with the putter. Like you need for him to spike with the putter is to get it to even. For
Hmm.
these guys like Kitsuyama and these guys who are just about tour average, spiking with the putter is gaining about half a stroke or a stroke per round where everything else could carry you to victory. Um, so like for Siwoo to get it done, in my opinion, he would need to go nuclear, which is more of an ask than just a spike. But anyway, back to Kitsuyama. I just think he is a really good fit for TPC Sawgrass. Coming in with some good form, has the tournament history. On the season, 30th in strokes gained total, 21st off the tee, 21st on approach, 152nd around the green, which is just god awful, and then 78th putting. So please, short game, just spike for me 1 week and get it done.
Yeah, Kiriyama is one of those like model darlings. I like to quote him as because when it comes to models, I know we, at least myself, heavily weigh approach and not short game approach and like ball striking, like those numbers off the tee more heavy than you do something else because what do you do most of typically in a golf tournament is on approach, right? You do more approach shots and you do, you know, with the driver off the tee or short game, things like that. So he does pop a lot, and it seems like he does play his better golf in Florida. Must be something about it. I know he's
Yep.
a former API winner and has had some great performances down there. So I think there is some merit to it. And again, where was it 65 for you?
Yep.
Yeah. So again, I can't be a person to sit here and nitpick anyone in this field at 65 when you have the tour's best and we're trying to bet against them. You know, when you're talking, I think Scotty was like 2.5 or 3.5, and you have Rory at 5 or whatever. You can't argue with anyone trying to justify a 65 to 1 outright in this market.
Yep.
All right, so I have two guys left here. My next guy here is Adam Scott, 66 to 1. So over the past season, Scott has not been amazing at this event. I know he won this tournament, I think in 2004 or something like that, but he missed the cut a season ago, 45th and 24, 71st and 23, missed the cut in 22, and 48th and 21. He was 12th in 2019 as well. But on the season, he's been rather good. 11th last week at the API, 4th at the Genesis, 30th at the Farmers, 24th at American Express, and 40th in Hawaii. He's currently 5th on tour in par 5s. He's 13th out of the sand, 16th off the tee and scrambling, 17th on approach, 21st in bogey points, 26th in ball striking, 39th in birdie or better, 49th in strokes gained putting Bermuda, 77th on accuracy. There really isn't a weakness to his game right now. Slightly below average around the green, but you have a very, not a very good, but you have a good putter along with it. Good out of the sand, avoiding bogey, scrambling really well. There isn't really a weakness to Adam Scott's game, who, Justin Rose kind of gets the rose, or the roses, as you would say, about being like the old timer on the PJ Tour who still get it done at a high level. But I think Adam Scott is kind of there with him. He's not winning the tournaments that Justin Rose is at this point. Justin Rose obviously is a better golfer than Adam Scott, but they're similar golfers who've been around for a very long time who have had a consistency with their game, and out of nowhere, I wouldn't say out of nowhere, but they're just playing really, really good golf the last few seasons, especially Adam Scott here at the start of this season is playing really well. The history there, this is a golf course that takes patience, right? These guys who've been around for a long time have seen this golf course for probably 20 plus years, like Adam Scott and Justin Rose have. They know how to attack this golf course. They know how to be patient, not rush things, and force errors that don't need to be rushed. So I think there's very real reason for, playing someone like Adam Scott at 66 to 1. Justin Rose, maybe you want to take a stab there, but man, he was pretty awful last week and in Florida in a kind of a similar golf course. So I opted for Adam Scott 66 to 1 where everything's checking the box for me.
Yeah, I can't fault you. I don't have too much to add there. I mean, if you're going with the anchor putter too, before they start banning it, Adam Scott fits that bill as well. So
Got to get one in for myself.
exactly, exactly. You gotta feed yourself a little bit here. So I like the Adam Scott call here. But in the interest of time, I've got three left. I'm gonna go through these a little bit quicker. I've got Sepp Straka at 66 to 1. He ranked 23rd in my model this week. Despite a complete back nine collapse on Sunday, he had a pretty good API. Good finish. He finished T2 at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, 50th at the Genesis, and then he ended up 13th at the Arnold Palmer. Like I mentioned, he just blew up on the back nine. His course history is also pretty solid. He has three top 20 finishes and six career starts. What do we know about him? He's finding fairways. He's hitting his irons well. It comes down to him making putts and having a short game that's half competent, which, I'm taking my chance on. I think he's coming in with some good form. He had his best season on the PGA Tour last year.
By far.
So I'm just looking for him to carry that forward and maybe find his way. His 2026 strokes gain data is nothing to rave about per se. He's 40th strokes gain total, 63rd off the tee, 15th on approach, 73rd around the green, and 118th putting. So again, just find that short game Sep, and I think that he'll be in a good position to possibly win. At 66 to 1, I think there's a lot of meat on the bone for a guy who could definitely take down this tournament.
Yeah, if you're talking about a set of early this season, you're talking about a guy in the 40s or even 35-ish, right? So I love the stab there at 66 to 1. You have another guy here. My last guy's like 120 or 150 to 1. So if you have anyone in between there, Jake, rattle them
Yep,
off.
I've got two in between, but I'll just go one and then we'll go back
Okay.
again. I took Aaron Rai at 100 to 1 here.
Yeah.
Again, not going to go too deep into it. What do we know about Rai? He smacks fairways, has elite irons. I just need the putter to cooperate, and by God, it is so freaking
It
miserable
is.
with Aaron Rai. But
Yeah.
at 100 to 1, I couldn't pass it up. I'm seeing triple digits on a guy who has a really good course history here as well. He made the cut in all three appearances and has two top 20 finishes in those three appearances at TPC Sawgrass. He's a guy who could grind it out if it gets windy, if it gets rainy, if the elements come into play. He is certainly live, and when those irons are clicking, the two glove Aaron Rai is spinning that club and just tapping in for birdie. So I'm hoping that that clicks for him. Maybe some inclement weather. This could be a little bit of a hedge per se. But I just thought triple digits was big enough for me to take a shot on him this week.
Yeah, Aaron Rye I could very well picture him, winning this golf tournament, just kind of like the last man standing type of effect, right? Just they had the right place, right time, grind it out type of thing, and that's the type of golf Aaron Rye plays. All right, my final play here is Davis Thompson at 150 to 1, 10th at TPC Sawgrass a season ago, so a top 10. Excuse me. He also missed the cut in 24 and placed 68th in 2023. Placed fourth last week at Puerto Rico. So this is a guy who didn't play the API, which, if you're going against any form of trends, that's not the way to go. But 60th at the Cognizant, 64th at Phoenix, and 43rd at the Farmers Insurance this season. He is currently 8th on tour in ball striking, so you're still getting elite ball striker here at 150 to 1. 11th in bogey avoidance, 12th in scrambling, 25th out of the sand, 36th on approach, 42nd in accuracy, 55th off the tee. And again, the putter is the concern here. 110 in strokes gained putting Bermuda for Davis Thompson. But again, what is there at 150 to 1 here in this field? You're taking a guy who had a top 10 here a season ago. That's basically it. An elite ball striker, elite iron and approach player with Davis Thompson, and kind of one of my players. So that's where I'm going with.
Yeah, Nate, I can't fault you. He's just an all-around guy. And again, if one of our guys just catches a hot putter, I feel pretty good about it.
That's what we're banking on this week by the pick for all of our picks. There's not a competent putter in the bag.
Exactly. I have to give a shout out here. So BC Nelly in our Discord tipped Ricky Fowler 125 to 1 2 weeks ago. That is my final play. He is now down to
Yeah.
50 to 1. He is going to be
Yeah.
awfully popular even at that 50 to 1
Yep.
number. So a huge shout out to him there. But just to cover my bases here, 15th in my model. He's been playing incredible. It feels like it's been going under the radar almost. The around the green has been so abysmal for him. It is painful, but everything else, he's saved himself with the putter so many times that I'm confident in him being able to get it done. this would be such a cool event for Ricky to win. It's been a little bit since he's been in the winner's circle. I know it was a long time before. I believe it was a Rocket Mortgage he won a couple years ago or
Mhm.
something like that. But it's time for him to get back. He's teed it up 5 times in 2026. I believe all of those finishes were top 30. At TPC Sawgrass, he's won this event back in 2015, so he's done it before. Um, that being said, he gains in both distance and accuracy off the tee over his career. He's been a consistent fairway finder. That's been his game. His iron play and putting have also been so solid. Like I mentioned, it's the around the green. If he is hitting the green and doesn't need to chip, I'm feeling really good about Ricky. He's 17th in strokes gained total, 47th off the tee, 39th on approach, 157th around the green, which I believe is close to dead last, and 15th putting. So again, super pumped about him, 125 to 1. 50 is a little bit of a different story, but I could also see anyone making the argument for him at 50 because of how well he's been playing
Yeah.
and the success he's had at this course. So, that being said, just fingers crossed, maybe get lucky with Ricky this week.
Yeah, it popped in my model, but around that 50-60 range where I went with some other golfers opposed to Ricky Fowler. But man, this is it's one of those cool stories, right? I would not be mad if I lost my card this week to Ricky Fowler winning the Players. I think golf Twitter or the golf community as a whole would be in an uproar and be excited about it. Just one of those guys that everyone wants to root for at this point. Maybe back when he was the early 2010s, you're maybe a little upset about him because of how he dressed or how he played golf. But either way, at this point, we're all Ricky fans, so we'd love to see it done at 125 to 1. That is a big number for a guy who's coming this week at 50 to 1.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. So, for the Players Championship next week, we have the Valspar Championship, I believe is the
Yep.
correct possible name. The DP World Tour will be back. I think we're in Hanen Classic next week on the DP World Tour. But either way, a lot of golf still to be played this season. We're only in first week of March, second week of March. So it's coming. Masters is coming right around the corner. So a lot of stuff to get going. I know we're down on ourselves, Jake, about not hitting a winner in quite some time, but there's still it only takes a handful of winners to make an entire season. So can't be too down on yourself to start a season at this point. And I'm just a little uh upset because last season my start was so good that it was just carefree for the rest of the season and easy going. Now I'm stressing a little bit, but either way, we'll keep going, Jake, and yeah, we'll be back next week. Before we do hop off here, Jake, where can people find you on social media?
Yep, you can follow me on X at JakeOOTR, where I share all my outright betting cards. I'd also encourage you to join the Out of the Rough Discord, 100% free with no hidden paywalls. The community includes 270 plus members and is an excellent free resource to have at your disposal. Just reach out to Nate or myself and we'll get you the link to join that. And Nate, I'm putting positive energy for one of us to hit a freaking winner on the PGA Tour. It's going to be this week. We have 10 guys. One of them is going to do it, and I'm hoping it's Minwoo so that we can both celebrate on Monday. So good juju going forward.
Yeah, I would joke with Jake. It's getting a little tough on Monday mornings to do all this work we have to do for this golf stuff without hitting winners and not even sniffing them really. So yeah, that's it. This week is it. We're gonna come back next Monday all rejuvenated, having hit a winner. Hopefully, Minwoo leaves. We have a crossover there and have some stuff to celebrate opposed to starting our introduction, which is going over who won opposed to us being a winner. You can follow myself, Nate, on Twitter at NateOOTR. Be sure to check out OOTRough.com for some more golf content from PGA Tour, DP World Tour, Live, LPGA, Corn Ferry, and Hotel Planet Tour. We have you covered from top to bottom. Follow Out of the Rough on all forms of social media. Check us out there. Until next time, guys, we'll see you.